So I know I beat you, but these are a 9. Hey, what's good guys? This is Chris from WearTesters.com. Welcome back to the official WearTesters.com YouTube channel. Today we got a performance review on these guys right here. This is the Nike Zoom Freak 1.
Everybody just went, they didn't call them bad boys.
That's exactly what happened, because they're, I like certain aspects of them. There's other pieces of them that I'm kind of like, meh. So as far as traction is concerned, we got 2 different sections of rubber. We've got 2 different patterns. You got 2 different results as a result of that, and I don't think that was a good idea. I do like that they, paid tribute to his family and things like that with the storytelling aspects. I originally thought that these were fingerprints. They're not, they're roses. That's what happens when you put out your review before any official information comes out. So for all of you guys being like, actually, they're, yeah, we know, relax. Now the solid rubber sections worked great. It doesn't work like traditional herringbone or anything like that, but they actually worked a lot better than what you might think. I know that the pattern's a little bit tight and everything. If dust was an issue for these sections, a quick wipe through and you were pretty much good to go. It was the translucent sections that were a hit or miss. I mean, some floors they played great and sometimes those floors would be dirty. And then other times they didn't play so great and those floors would be clean, or vice versa. The stuff is just a dust magnet for some reason. I don't know why translucent rubber really attracts dust, but it does. It loves that stuff and I hate it. What I would recommend is going for a pair with solid rubber. There is the upcoming Roses colorway, which actually does feature solid rubber all the way through, so I would go with that personally. The thing that's a bummer is that a lot of the great colorways are coming out with this setup, which is solid and translucent, so that's a bummer, but it is what it is. I will say that for the most part it was fairly reliable, especially if you were able to keep up with wiping. It just wasn't extremely reliable. It's not something that I would be like, yo, like I'm gonna play on the nastiest court ever, I'm gonna take these guys with me. That's not what it's like. It's not a Kobe 9, it's not an Air Jordan 28. It's just an okay type of performance on an okay sneaker. Now the cushion is something that some people like, some people don't. Some people are actually really surprised at the cushion setup because of the shoe and the player that's attached to it. You got Giannis, he's a very big guy, and these are a shoe that are very similar to a Kobe, at least recent Kobe's, not old Kobe's. And what I mean by that is that there's Zoom Air in the heel, but there's nothing in the forefoot. I believe the Phylon is injected Phylon, so it feels better than having like regular dense Phylon and all that stuff, but it is still very much on the firm side in the forefoot. It's not super bouncy or anything like that, so you get a lot of court feel in the front. You get a little bit of impact protection if you need it in the back. I personally don't. I don't really use the back or anything. I do like how the back is rounded, which is something that I was talking about in the Jordan 2x3 performance review, and that's when I use my heel to really kind of like stop or slow down, especially if I'm going to move into a shooting motion. So I'm rolling into the shot and all that stuff, getting ready to plant my feet. That's what I love this rounded heel for. You can feel the zoom in the back if you are idle, meaning that you are not moving. You can just kind of feel it if you're sitting there bouncing or whatever and all that stuff, which is cool for that. But otherwise, when I'm actually playing, when I'm running around and all that stuff, I am primarily on my forefoot. I don't ever feel that stuff. So up front, lots of court feel, very little impact protection. Again, a lot of people are going to be surprised by that because Giannis is a big dude. He's not a little guy. The strange thing though is that a lot of these larger players play like guards and they like guard attributes in their sneakers. So if you look at somebody like DeMarcus Cousins, he's a very large athlete. He doesn't quite move like a guard, especially after his injuries, but he prefers to have court feel style shoes, which again, I do think is a little bit weird, but the big man today is not a Shaq. You know what I'm saying? He's not a Yao Ming, he's not an Olajuwon, he's not a Patrick Ewing. The style of big men is much different today than it used to be back in the 90s and stuff. So that's kind of where I would go with it, is that they like guard shoes. I don't know why, but for whatever reason, that's what it is, and that's what you'll receive here. The materials are, they're just whatever, you know what I mean? Like the same materials are used on the Kyrie Low 2, the, what's the other shoe?
Lebron.
Yeah, the Lebron 16 Low, thank you. And those 2 models with this model right here, you got basically 3 different types of price ranges. You have the lower end with the Kyrie Low, what was that, 110? Something like that, 100, 110, somewhere around there. This is 120, and then the LeBron 16 Low is, I think they're 160. So the main difference between the 3 models though is the cushion setups. The Kyrie actually has a little bit more cushion than these guys do. Well, actually, technically it doesn't. It does have 2 zoom units.
They're just split up?
Yeah, there's just one in the front, one in the back. These got 2 zoom units too. Same exact style of zoom units. They just put them both in the back. But we're not talking about cushion anymore. We're still in the material section. Sorry about that tangent. But that is the main difference between the models, is that, the LeBron's got the premium LeBron cushion and the Kyrie's technically don't, but they should be switched. These should be priced like the Kyrie Low and vice versa and stuff. So So the main body or the main build of the shoe actually has been holding up very well. It requires very little braking time, all that kind of good stuff. So no real complaints besides the material just being meh overall. However, these two little loopholes right here at the bottom with the little like finger things that span out and really like contain your forefoot area, which I personally love. I love how it feels. I love how it fits. However, they have gotten frayed and chewed up quite a bit. And I think it's kind of weird. It's made out of that kind of like cheap, crappy felt-like material. There is something behind it as well, but for whatever reason, like especially that one just looks awful. That shoe looks awful. We got like stitching coming out and everything. So yeah, so that's the only real section that has been showing some wear and tear is like those bottom eyelets. Otherwise, the shoe's just dirty, which is normal for a basketball shoe. Now, as far as fit is concerned, I did go true to size. That's what I would recommend if you want a 1-to-1 fit. However, they do run a little bit short lengthwise and they are slightly on the snug or narrow side widthwise. So if you are a wide footer, try them on in-store if possible, just to make sure that you get your size. I've heard everything. I've heard some people being like, nah, they run hella small for me, so I went up half a size, both wide footers and normal footers. I've heard that wide footers have gone true to size, normal footers going true to size, normal footers going up half a size, blah, 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 blah. So what I would do is not take a chance, go in store. They are just sitting there, so just go in there, try them on real quick, and then go find your deal online. So that's what I would recommend. However, going true to size for me gave me a 1-to-1 fit. I actually do like that, so it wasn't a big deal. Again, they are a little bit snug, but just keep that in mind for anybody curious. As far as the overall lockdown is concerned, I had no real complaints. Again, the shoe gives you that kind of like 1-to-1 fit. They feel very much like a Kobe. That's gonna be the main comparison. It's court feel, very little coverage as far as cushion is concerned. The materials are pretty basic, and then the overall fit is very snug, 1-to-1. The fit honestly reminds me a little bit of the Nike Kobe 6, which is a shoe that I absolutely love. With the one exception being in the collar area, I feel like this particular section really is snug and cups the heel of the foot much better than something like the Kobe 6, even though the Kobe 6 is a beast. Now the support is just, you know, it's average. It's not anything crazy. Most of the support as far as interior containment is concerned, it's coming from the upper, the way that the shoe fits, and then you have sections of the midsole keeping you on the footbed and all that stuff to prevent from rolling over. One of those sections is this little rubber piece right here. The other is the exaggerated swoosh in the heel. And again, they extended that little rubber piece in the back as well. So that's kind of your heel counter in addition to the small one that's inside. You also have a nice flat, wide base and everything with a little kind of outrigger. It actually works really well for what it is, so I dig it. It's not a ton of stability like something like the Dame 5 or even the Dawn Issue 1, both of which you can see right behind me. Those two shoes are extreme in terms of width stability. These guys are not. These are more on the level of the KD12, where they kind of like are slim around the foot. These don't have a shank plate. There's no internal torsional bar. There is no external shank. Some people are making a really big deal about that. I think that it is a bunch of nonsense. There's been plenty of shoes that do not have shank plates, most of which being the budget Kobe models. Nobody's ever complained before. Why complain now? On top of that, the Converse, what the f is the shoe called? The Converse BB something?
All-Star Pro BB.
That shoe has no shank plate whatsoever. It's literally a shell of a shoe with a drop-in midsole, again, much like a lot of Kobe's. Nobody complained about that either. Some people are saying that if you do this, it'll bend the shoe in there. I'd like you to show me one basketball player that does that on the court. One, just one.
You got ballerinas out there?
Just show me one person that bends their foot that way, because last time I checked, people bend their foot this way. And as long as you bend your foot this way and the midfoot doesn't move, which is what the flat base is for, then you're good to go, which is what these guys are all about. Again, they're not extreme as far as support is concerned. They are missing that one piece. However, there's plenty of shoes, like I was saying, that are like that. This is a Chinese branded shoe. This is the Peak something.
Lou Williams.
Yeah, but it's called,
Lightning.
yeah, the Peak Lightning. And this shoe I could do the same exact thing for. Nobody gives a f though, so why do you give a shit about it when it's on this guy right here? I don't know. That's all I'm saying. If you're gonna point fingers and you're going to witch hunt, make sure that it's proper. Make sure that you do it on everyone. You can't just be like, oh, it's Giannis or whatever. He's the MVP. He deserves blah blah. That's your bias on top of that. So make sure that you're at least even with your criticisms. Make sure that you're hitting all the options and all that stuff, because there's lots of Kobe's like that. There's lots of Jordans like that. There's lots of Adidas like that. There's lots of Chinese brand shoes like that. I've never seen nobody complain about it before until these guys right here. I think it's super weird. And no, I'm not backing Nike's butt up or anything like that. I can give two squirts of piss about Nike.
Alrighty then.
But that's all I'm saying about that. The support is just whatever. It's fine. You know what I mean? It's not crazy. You're not gonna hurt yourself. You're not gonna overextend your foot because you don't bend it. this way, you bend it this way. So that pretty much takes care of it for these guys. As far as the performance review, I think that they're a good shoe. I just don't think they're a great shoe. As far as an entry shoe goes, it's okay. Again, I think that they're overpriced. That's the main thing. I think $120 for what you actually get is a little bit too much, especially when you can find the KD12. I mean, if you're just paying retail, you're spending 30 bucks more and you're getting pretty much everything. I think that that's a very wise $30 additional investment into your basketball sneaker. However, there are lots of KD12s that are currently on sale right now, so you could probably find them for either the same price as these or a little bit less. So why wouldn't you? That's, you know, like why would you pay the same price for less stuff? I just think that that's weird. However, if you are interested in these guys, because I actually do think that these look great, I think that they are the best looking of the Nike basketball shoes, at least currently right now. You can find them over at all Nike basketball retailers, including Shop AWOL. We will leave their links down below in the description box. That's where we got our pair. Big thank you to everybody over at AWOL. We greatly appreciate you guys. Sound off below. Let us know what you guys think about these. If you've been playing in them, if you wanted any more information, again, there's going to be another link in the description box that'll send you over to WearTesters.com, where you can check out their price, their weight, as well as their scores. Thank you so much for watching. Thanks for all your support, and until next time, guys, have a good one.
Can you give that commentary on the cushion one more time?
The cushion sucks out here. My leg is hurting. I'm hungry. So I know I beat you, but these are a 9.